Welcome to my creative space. Planning projects for my lk150 today. And I'm not sure which one to try first. I would like to do another one of these cardigans. This one was made on my lk100, my Stash Buster cardigan, and I love it. But I would like to make one a little bit more fitted because this one was made to be really loose and big, which is fine. I love it. I wear it all the time because it's super cozy. And right now it's cold. I want to make one that's not quite as thick and bulky, you know, something more for spring. I've been looking at my yarns that work better on the lk150. Some of these line brand yarns that are really like the Karen type yarns. One of this is a Karen yarn. But I was doing some swatches and looking at some different color palettes to work with on the lk100 and trying to adjust the pattern because I can't make the pattern the exact same way. So I've been doing that and working on my color palette. Now, one of the things I use to help me decide when I'm working with multiple colors, you know, a Stash Buster project, which I seem to have a whole lot of yarns that need to be used in a Stash Buster project. I always have like little extra balls of yarn, left over 1 or 2 skeins. It just seems like that's always accumulating. And there's never enough of something to make one project. I'm always thinking about Stash Buster projects, it seems. And I don't want to just throw together any color. I want the colors to look good together. So I use a stripe generator, which also shows me blocks, which is great. And for this one, I actually used a stripe generator that also showed me blocks. So I could like lay out my stripes as well as the blocks. So that worked really well. I did the same thing on the sweater I just made, the sideways sweater on the lk150. I used that stripe generator. And that's a great thing for project planning if you're going to use multiple colors. So you can see how the colors really look, either striped or blocked together. So I've come up with these 3 colors, and this swatch was done on the lk150. And I really like the way that looks. So I'm thinking about using these 3 colors along with a little bit of this gold color and cream. And I think I'll just have enough to make a cardigan. Project planning for me is a process, especially on the knitting machines. Not so much when I was crocheting. When I was crocheting, I just kind of picked out a similar yarn that they used for the project. Maybe I did a swatch gauge, maybe I didn't. Most of the time I didn't. You know, because doing a swatch by hand, it just seems time consuming. But doing one on the machine is so super simple and quick, I don't mind it. That's one thing I am looking at today, making a Stash Buster cardigan for the lk150 with the yarns that the lk150 likes better. The other project is I'm trying to come up with a good sock pattern for the lk150 because I have circular sock machine envy, like so bad. I have it so bad, y'all. And I do not want to have to buy a circular sock machine. They are so expensive. And if I can make a good sock on my lk150, I'll be happy. I hear a lot of different, you know, opinions about the lk150 being able to make socks that are actually comfortable in a shoe. And you know, I've certainly had people tell me that they've made socks on the lk150 that are their favorites, their favorite everyday socks. So that is my quest. And one lady I talked to specifically had told me that it's really about your yarn. And a lot of people just use yarn that's too thick, and so it ends up being more of a slipper that doesn't fit very well in a shoe. Understandable. And I've made crochet socks, and let me tell you, it was a disaster. And I used a really thin sock yarn, but they were the most uncomfortable things I've ever worn. I've also had some hand knit socks. I had a pair that fit really well and was very comfortable, and then I had a pair that was kind of like not so comfortable. So, and it was also very thin sock yarn and everything. I don't know what the difference was. So, the yarn is a big deal, obviously. So I've been doing lots of swatches and, you know, different tensions, with a lot of different sock yarn. This sock yarn is so pretty, but it feels kind of knotty and gnarly. I don't think my foot would like this. I love this sock yarn too. That's so pretty. I don't know what the fascination is with making socks, but I definitely have it. I have that fascination. I'm just really trying to avoid buying a circular sock knitting machine here. But this Super Socks, this seems like it would make a pretty good sock. It feels pretty good. It knit pretty tight. Like I said, this one is called, this is a yarn from Plymouth, and sock yarn from Plymouth, and I knitted it in two different little with two different tensions, and it's just, I can tell, I don't think my foot would like this. It's a pretty yarn, and I could definitely see making something, making other stuff out of it, but not socks, not for me. This right here, this knit up really thick sock croy yarn, and I tried it in two different tensions. I do have on here that tension 1 the machine did not like. Tension 2 was great, and it seems okay, but it does feel thick. So to me, this would be more of a boot sock, something. I mean, it doesn't feel like it would be a slipper sock, you know, or a house sock. But it definitely feels more like my boot sock, something I would wear thicker with my hiking boots or something. And then I've got this, what is this one? Casey sock yarn. I got this from Joann's, and it feels very thin, very, very thin. And it knit fine with tension 1 and 2. Of course, tension 2 is a little bit looser, but overall, this was, this seems pretty good, and it feels so thin. I think it would make a really nice sock. And then I know I'm going to butcher the name of this Ogterman step. This one feels amazing. It's not too thin, not too thick. It feels like it will make a really nice winter sock. Not a boot sock, but definitely a nice sock. The KC yarn feels so thin and little. I mean, I think it would make a great summer sock. I have got some swatches picked out. I'm probably going to go with the KC or this Ogterman step yarn first, and see what happens. I also did this, and you can see I unraveled my sample, this Sassy sock. My machine, the lk150, absolutely choked on this, no matter what tension, no matter what I did. It hated this yarn, and it's like no more thin than the other ones, definitely not too thick, but anyway, I listen to my machine. I don't argue with them. So I've got my two sock samples, and now I just need a pattern. And I have a pattern picked out I think I'm going to try first. So anyway, those are the two knitting projects I'm planning. A cardigan on the 150 and trying to find the perfect pair of socks on the 150, so that way I have to buy a sock machine, which I don't think I could bring myself to buy one, but you never know. You never know. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to getting started with these projects and seeing what I can figure out. And because it would be great to have a lighter weight, a little bit more fitted cardigan in this style that I am obsessed with. And I'm also going to do a pattern for this, because it's so easy. It's great for beginners. It's great for a quick project. And of course, it's wonderful if you accumulate lots of odds and ends skeins like I do. So I better get to work. Hope you guys are knitting something fun today. Y'all have a good one.